The New York Knicks held their breath during their recent matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers, as star center Karl-Anthony Towns took a frightening fall during the second quarter. The incident occurred during an and-one layup attempt, where Towns landed hard on the court after making contact. The fall was severe enough to cause visible concern among teammates and coaching staff, with Towns audibly expressing pain immediately after hitting the floor. Despite the scary moment, Towns managed to get back on his feet after a brief pause, much to the relief of everyone at the arena. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. What made this situation even more concerning was the fact that Towns had already been listed as questionable before the game due to thoracic back spasms. The existing back issue made the hard fall particularly worrisome, as it could have easily aggravated the pre-existing condition. Medical staff quickly evaluated him on the court, but fortunately, Towns was able to continue playing after the incident. The Knicks went on to secure a narrow victory over the 76ers with a final score of 112, a 109. This hard-fought win improved their season record to 27 wins and 18 losses, keeping them competitive in the Eastern Conference standings. However, the victory came at a potential cost, as the team continues to navigate through various injury challenges that have plagued their roster throughout the season. Towns' performance on the night was far from spectacular. The All-Star center struggled to find his rhythm offensively, failing to provide the dominant presence the Knicks need from their highest-paid player. His quiet performance raised questions about whether the back spasms were affecting his play even before the scary fall occurred. This season has seen Towns averaging just 20.8 points per game, a significant decrease from his 24.4 points per game average from last season when he was still adapting to the Knicks system. The decline in production has sparked conversations about his overall fit within head coach Mike Brown's offensive scheme. Some analysts have pointed out that the system might not be maximizing Towns' unique skill set as a stretch big man who can both dominate in the paint and shoot from three-point range. The adjustment period has been longer than many expected when the Knicks acquired him in a blockbuster trade. The injury scare highlighted just how precarious the Knicks' situation has become. The team cannot afford to lose another key player to injury, having already dealt with significant absences throughout the season. Josh Hart missed 8 consecutive games after suffering a right ankle sprain on Christmas Day, and his absence created noticeable chemistry issues within the rotation. When Hart finally returned, the team was still working to regain its previous cohesion and flow. Adding to the injury concerns, point guard Jalen Brunson has also dealt with his own ankle issues. Brunson twisted his right ankle during a recent game and had to leave the court early, serving as another reminder of how dependent the Knicks' offense is on his playmaking abilities. Even brief absences from Brunson forced the team to completely alter their tempo, shot creation patterns, and decision-making in crucial moments of games. The Knicks' front office has made it clear that they have no plans to move Towns before the February 5th trade deadline. Despite persistent rumors and speculation about potential deals, team officials have firmly stated they are not engaged in any trade discussions involving their star center. They remain committed to making the current roster work and believe that Towns will eventually find his rhythm and become the dominant force they envisioned when they acquired him. However, questions continue to linger about whether the current roster construction is optimal for playoff success. The Knicks' recent struggles have exposed some fundamental issues, particularly on the defensive end. Having 2 players who are below average defenders in Towns and Brunson creates significant challenges, especially against elite offensive teams. The lack of rim protection and perimeter defense has been exploited by opponents during crucial stretches of games. If Towns continues to underperform and the injury concerns persist, the pressure on the front office to make changes will only intensify. The team's championship aspirations depend heavily on Towns developing better chemistry with his teammates and returning to his all-star level of play. For now, the Knicks are grateful that the scary fall against Philadelphia did not result in a serious injury that could have derailed their entire season. The New York Knicks have been strategically utilizing their G League affiliate, the Westchester Knicks, to provide valuable playing time for their young prospects who are struggling to find minutes in the crowded NBA rotation. With the team focused on playoff contention, head coach Mike Brown simply doesn't have enough minutes available for developing players to gain meaningful experience at the NBA level. This has made the G League assignment strategy increasingly important for the organization's long-term development plans. 2 days ago, the Knicks announced that 3 young players would be heading to Westchester for a home game against the Windy City Bulls. Pacome Dadiet, Mohamed Diawara, and Ariel Hookporty all made the short trip to White Plains, located roughly 28 miles from Madison Square Garden. The proximity of the Westchester County Center makes these assignments particularly convenient, allowing players to shuttle back and forth as needed without major travel complications. The game turned into a showcase for the Knicks' young talent, demonstrating exactly why these G League assignments are so valuable. Pacomi Dadiet, who had recently been mentioned in trade rumors, put together an impressive performance by scoring a game-high 26 points. The 20-year-old forward also connected on 4 three-pointers and grabbed 6 rebounds, showing the kind of all-around game that made him an attractive prospect. His strong performance came despite the uncertainty surrounding his future with the organization, proving his professionalism and determination. Ariel Hukporti also had a noteworthy outing, scoring 18 points on just 10 shot attempts while demonstrating improved efficiency. Perhaps most encouraging was his work from beyond the arc, where he connected on 2 three-point attempts. These were his first professional three-pointers, marking an important milestone in his development as a modern big man who can stretch the floor. The ability to shoot from distance will be crucial for his future role in the NBA. Mohamed Diawara contributed 7 points in 20 minutes of action, continuing his development process at a steady pace. While his numbers weren't as eye-catching as his teammates, the experience of playing meaningful minutes in competitive situations remains invaluable for his growth as a player. Kevin McCullough Jr., who is currently on a 2-way contract and has seen sporadic minutes for the Knicks, delivered a spectacular all-around performance. He stuffed the stat sheet with 23 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals, and 3 three-pointers made. This kind of versatile production showcases exactly why the Knicks have valued his contributions when given opportunities at the NBA level. Two-way players like McCullough represent an important bridge between the G League and NBA rosters. Fellow two-way player Trey Jemison has spent the most time with Westchester this season, appearing in 17 games for the affiliate. The big man has been productive during his G League stint, averaging 8.4 points and 8.9 rebounds per game. His consistent presence has helped provide stability to the Westchester roster while he continues developing his game. All the young Knicks players contributed to a convincing 114-104 victory for Westchester, demonstrating that the development program is producing positive results. The Knicks became the 7th NBA franchise to fully own and operate their G League affiliate when they purchased Westchester back in 2014. This ownership structure has allowed for better coordination between the two teams and more seamless player development strategies. In recent years, the Knicks have become increasingly proactive about using their minor league affiliate for player development. Several current rotation players spent significant time riding the Westchester shuttle during their early professional careers. Guards Deuce McBride and center Jericho Sims both benefited greatly from regular G League assignments during their first seasons, using that time to refine their skills before earning consistent NBA minutes. Last season, Tyler Kolek, Pacomi Dadiet, and Ariel Hukporti all bounced back and forth between the G League and the parent club as part of their development process. This pattern has become standard practice for the organization, recognizing that young players need regular playing time to develop properly, even if those minutes come at a lower level of competition. Westchester achieved historic success last season by becoming the first G League team to win consecutive in-season tournament titles. Tyler Kolek played a starring role in that achievement, earning MVP honors after posting 21 points and 11 assists in the championship game. The Marquette product appeared in 8 G League games as a rookie and has translated those positive experiences into a meaningful role with the Knicks this season. The composition of this year's Westchester roster represents a shift in organizational philosophy. While last season's team was built around veteran players trying to work their way back to the NBA level, this year's squad focuses more heavily on young prospect development. The previous season featured players like TJ, Warren, Moses Brown, and Chuma Okeke leading the way and earning all G League team honors through their reclamation efforts. This season, Westchester holds a disappointing 6-24 record, but the one-loss total is less important than the development occurring for future Knicks prospects. The organization has made a conscious decision to prioritize long-term player growth over immediate G League success, investing in their pipeline rather than short-term affiliate victory. The New York Knicks have faced significant struggles in recent weeks, leading to speculation about whether major roster changes might be necessary. Among the most controversial discussions circulating among fans and analysts is the possibility of trading star center Karl Anthony Towns despite his relatively short tenure with the organization. While such a move would be shocking given the assets invested to acquire him, some basketball minds believe it could be the solution to the team's most pressing defensive problems. The fundamental issue plaguing the Knicks is their defensive vulnerability, particularly when both Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are on the court simultaneously. Having two below-average defenders at critical positions makes it extremely difficult to build a championship-caliber defense, regardless of how talented the surrounding pieces might be. This structural weakness has been exploited repeatedly by opposing teams during crucial moments of games. One bold three-team trade proposal has emerged that could theoretically address these defensive concerns while maintaining the Knicks' offensive firepower. The framework would involve the Knicks sending Karl-Anthony Towns and Jock Landale to the Los Angeles Clippers, while receiving Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Memphis Grizzlies and Ivica Zubac from Los Angeles. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies would receive a massive package including John Collins, Brook Lopez, Cam Christie, multiple future first-round pick swaps, a future first-round pick, and a second-round selection. From the Knicks' perspective, this trade represents a complete defensive transformation that could elevate them from a mediocre defensive team to one with elite infrastructure. Jaren Jackson Jr. brings a proven track record as a former Defensive Player of the Year award winner. His rim protection, shot blocking ability, and versatility would immediately upgrade the Knicks' interior defense while maintaining floor spacing with his three-point shooting capabilities. Jackson Jr. would slot perfectly into the power forward position alongside Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, creating a formidable defensive trio. His presence would help compensate for Jalen Brunson's limitations on the perimeter by providing help defense and weak side shot blocking that discourages opponents from attacking the paint. The combination of Jackson, Bridges, and Anunoby could potentially form one of the best defensive front courts in the entire league. While Ivica Zubac isn't an elite defender on the same level as Jackson Jr., he would still represent a significant upgrade in terms of pick-and-roll defense and rim protection. His chemistry with Brunson would develop quickly, as Zubac is an excellent finisher around the basket and would thrive in the traditional center role within the Knicks' offensive system. His defensive presence in the paint would provide another layer of protection that the team currently lacks with Towns. For the Los Angeles Clippers, acquiring Karl-Anthony Towns would represent a major offensive upgrade at the center position. Despite his defensive limitations, Towns remains one of the most skilled offensive big men in the NBA. His ability to score from all three levels, shoot efficiently from three-point range, and create his own shot would give the Clippers a dynamic scoring option they've been missing. This type of offensive production could help elevate Los Angeles into serious championship contention in the Western Conference. The Memphis Grizzlies would be the clear winners in terms of draft compensation, receiving a haul that includes a 2031 first-round pick from the Clippers, three separate first-round pick swaps from the Knicks spanning from 2026 to 2033, and a 2027 second-round pick. This collection of future assets would give Memphis incredible flexibility in building their roster for the long term. Additionally, they would be receiving financial relief by getting off Jackson Jr.'s substantial contract, which could open up cap space for other moves. The reality is that such a complex three-team trade faces numerous obstacles and is highly unlikely to actually materialize. The Knicks would be giving up significant draft capital for a defensive upgrade, which represents a different philosophy than the offensive-minded approach that led them to acquire Towns in the first place. The price being paid in terms of future assets would be substantial and could limit the team's flexibility for years to come. However, the fundamental premise behind this trade proposal deserves serious consideration. The Knicks' current roster construction has a glaring flaw in its defensive structure that becomes increasingly problematic in playoff situations. Elite championship teams are typically built on strong defensive foundations, and the current Knicks lineup struggles to meet that standard when both Towns and Brunson share the court. Trading Towns so soon after acquiring him would certainly be an admission that the initial roster building strategy didn't work as planned. The optics of such a move would be challenging for the front office to manage, especially given the fanfare surrounding his arrival. Nevertheless, sometimes organizations need to acknowledge mistakes quickly and make corrections before doubling down on flawed approaches. The proposed trade would fundamentally alter the team's identity, shifting from an offensive-minded squad to one built around defensive excellence. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ivica Zubac would provide the kind of rim protection and defensive versatility that championship teams require, even if the offensive defensive output isn't quite as dynamic as what Towns provides. Ultimately, while this specific trade proposal is unlikely to happen, it illustrates the type of difficult decisions the Knicks might need to consider if their defensive struggles continue. The path to championship contention requires honest evaluation of roster strengths and weaknesses, even when that means making uncomfortable changes to recently acquired players.